Okay. So thank you for the introduction. So I've spent 6 years in industries like FMCG and retail. So across FMCG, I've done Hindustan Unilever, Parle, and then Walmart and Spar. So now I'm again into a bigger role, managing one company called Captain Fresh for entire GCC countries and Africa. So that's why I'm based out of Dubai today, and then working around for this region. So my knowledge basically is into FMCG and retail. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to share my learning and see that your knowledge gets enhanced in these industries. So I'll talk about retail. What is retail? What is retailing opportunities? What needs to be done to get there, and what are the various functions? What are the opportunities required? What are the skills required? All of that we will talk today. And at the end of a session, you can ask hundreds and loads of questions. I'm ready to answer. Okay, can you proceed?
Sir.
And can you quickly brief me about the participants who are all there?
So there are, agriculture and allied sector professionals are there, researchers are there, students are there, PG and PhD students are there. Okay. Then faculty sometimes faculty members are also there. So
right.
Yes.
Okay, great, excellent. So I'm talking to very, very, very highly educated, knowledgeable people. So sorry if there is some knowledge gaps, but I'll try to gap it up. So if you understand a distribution channel for any typical thing, so I've put for an FMCG, even for agriculture. So agri goods are produced in a farm, and from there it goes to a warehouse. Warehouse could be your mandis or warehouse channels, and then the mandis or collection centers. Those are called in agriculture. And from there, the people who buys could be a distributor or a retailer, and then finally it ends up with the customer. So channels of distribution is a chain of a business or intermediaries through which a goods or service passes until it reaches the end consumer. So this is the complete channel, right from production to the end consumer. That's why it's called channels of distribution. It could include factory, wholesalers, retailers, distributors, and even in the internet now. So what is retailing? Why I've chosen retailing is finally, even for the agri goods or for the FMCG goods or for the apparels, customer and the retailing is the final point where the interaction happens between customer and the intermediary or the channel partner. So that's where entire learning is, and that's where you can also now retailing in India and across the world. World is already grown, but retailing in India is really picking up a fast pace, both offline and online. So I thought it would add a lot of value to your knowledge. So retailing is a distribution process which all activities involved in selling the merchandise directly to the final consumer. This is the one single point of difference. In other somebody's. Am I audible? Is it going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think there was some disturbance, sir. I muted them, sir.
Okay, right. Still it is continuing.
I'll just see, sir.
Can I?
Yes, sir. Please continue, sir.
Yeah. So in all other intermediary channels, like for example, factory or warehouse or distributor, here it is not a direct customer who's there as a final panel. But in retailing, it is about dealing with the selling or buying the goods to the direct final consumer is what retailing is about. So it involves sales of goods from a single point directly to the consumer in small quantities for his end use. So that is also a difference. It is selling to the customer in the small quantities And is also some people also call this as breaking the bulk into single units. So there are various types of retail, or I would say broadly two types of retail: modern retailing and traditional retailing. Modern retailing is now also called as organized retailers. So modern formats as such as now you have discount stores like D-Mart in India, then hypermarkets, that is Reliance hypermarket, then more hypermarket, and so then supermarkets, department stores, special. These are all comes under modern retailing, where it is more of organized and modern, and then corporate run companies are all called modern retailers. Traditional retailers is your street corner and mom and pop stores, which are refers to thousands of small, most family owned retail businesses, which are also called as unorganized retailers. So this is how broadly there is a split. And then what are the types of retail outlets? Here I'll spend few minutes and then we'll understand the retail function. So supermarkets, which is a small format, around 2,500 to 3,000 square feet, where you will sell mostly house and home and kitchen related items like food, like fruits and vegetables, grocery, then bakery, fish, then FMCG goods, the daily usage goods, all comes under supermarkets. It's around 2,500, a small segment, and number of products there could be around 4,000 to 6,000, we call SKUs, stock keeping units. In hypermarkets, it is larger. If it is 3,400 is supermarket, 4,000 square feet is supermarket. Hypermarket could be anything between 30,000 square foot to 1 lakh square foot. It is an extension of supermarket, but there are other categories like electronics, apparels, home related like general merchandise, like kitchen related items. All of that gets added here, and bigger assortment is presented here. The number of products could be more than 40,000 to 50,000 in terms of SKUs. Departmental store is also a larger format of stores, and this is more related to fashion, lifestyle, and apparels, all of that. For example, for supermarket, anybody can tell example of supermarket in India? It could be more, it could be Reliance Fresh. So these are all called supermarkets. Hypermarkets, as I told you, Reliance Hyper, then you have more Hyper, then you have multiple, and then you have Spar in India. All of these are all called hypermarket. Departmental store could be Shoppers Stop, Lifestyle. These are all stores which are more towards lifestyle, luxury, and apparels, that kind of stores. You also understand apparel stores. That means clothing stores. It could be branded clothing stores. It could be Van Heusen, all of those big branded stores could be under apparel stores. Discount stores, basically large stores, but focus is more on discount. That could be D-Mart is one of the discount store which is doing well in India, which is doing really, really well. And there are wholesale clubs. Metro Cash and Carry is a wholesale club, where here the target is not customer, target is business. So all others are B2B, B2C. This is more of B2C. And specialty stores and e-retailers. E-tailers means it is about Amazon, Flipkart, all of those are called e-tailers, where e-commerce is taken care. A small scenario of India. India is, in terms of GDP, now India ranks 4th in terms of size and accounts for 10% of overall GDP. That is retail industry I'm talking about. Indian 2020, it is about 65.5 lakh crores is its market size, and it is about to reach 96 point, that is around 96 lakh crores in 2024. So retail industry is estimated to grow by 10%. And still, as I told you, unorganized and organized, still 88% is in unorganized sector, and 9% and 3% is in organized, which is e-commerce and organized retail. So why this number is critical is there is so much more opportunity for an organized retail, both in food, agri, and other formats of food is available. So people are only 9% employed in retail sector, but there is a huge scope as this organized retail share goes up in the market. So this is the growth which is planned. Global perspective, it is big and it grows, but it is quite opposite there. Organized retail is around 70% and unorganized retail is around 30%. And Middle East, the where I am now, it's around 40%. In Africa, it could be around 10%. So these are the top retailers, global retailers across the world: Walmart, Costco, Kroger, Amazon, Lidl. Lidl is a discount chain, and Walmart is a hypermarket and large format stores. Amazon is a e-retailer, online retailer, and Walgreens is a pharmaceutical, and Aldi is again a discount chain. Tesco is there in India. Tata and Tesco has formed a joint venture, and it is called Star Bazaar in India. They are also present in hypermarket format and small format. And Carrefour is a French retailer is a French company, is also present in large format stores. In India, Reliance Retail, multi-concepts, they are present in multiple formats like in food, supermarkets, hypermarkets, large format, electronics, apparels, all of that. And approximate turnover to all our surprise is already 2 lakh crore plus. And DMart, as I told you, discount hypermarket, Aditya Birla Retail, fashion retail, Shoppers Stop, Trend, V-Mart, all of this. Plus, you have in food, more supermarket has predominantly more of fruits and vegetables. Like that, if you go to every city, there are multiple supermarket chains which are doing well. Then e-commerce retailers, Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket. Big Basket predominantly started with fruits and vegetables. Now they've increased the range. So it's more towards food. And Snapdeal and Myntra, it's more of fashion. So now you understood overall industry, market, what is retail, what are various forms of retail. Now, what I'll take you through, a typical retail company, how does it work? What are the various functions? How organization chart of a retail company looks like? So if you take it's a representative picture. It's not a right one. Some companies may have difference, but this is how all the companies operate. So there is a board which is on the top, board of directors, and normally a CEO is at a helm of affairs, and under him there are heads of functions. What are the functions we'll have? So buying and merchandising. So this is the function where the team buying for the supermarkets. They do the buying, and merchandising means they display. How to display, how to put the products in display. These are all comes under buying and merchandising. And you also understand supply chain, where once the buying is done, goods is received by this team and it is warehoused, stocked in a warehouse and distributed to the stores. This is about supply chain. Then store operations, where it is typically who operates the stores. For example, More or whatever, Spar or whatever store it is, you will have a store manager, and you have every 10 to 12 stores, you will have regional managers or a zonal managers, and then head of operations. Then you understand marketing, finance, HR, and IT. Typically, these are the functions normally are there, and then they all report into the group CEO. So as I told you, these are the functions. So because you're all from the agri industry, and I want to tell you what are the distribution of all the categories in India. Food and grocery contributes 65%. Major chunk of the business in India is food and grocery, 65%. Others comes later, footwear, apparel, consumer durables, jewelry, furniture, all of that. But predominantly food is the major retail contributor. So if, for example, you want to pursue a career in retail, these are the options in opportunities which any retail company will have. So buying, store operations, quality control, marketing, store merchandise, e-commerce and procurement, and MIS analysts, all of that. So what are the knowledge and skills required for each function and how we can map into this? I will stop here. If anybody has questions, we'll take a small break and then we'll continue again. Yes. Team, this is a lot of information. I want you to do it slowly. You can ask questions now. Hello. Hello. Okay.
Hello. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Can I continue? Any questions here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll continue. Somebody asked me questions. So, criteria to buy merchandise of a company. Very good question. I will explain that now. So I will explain each function now, how each function works. So these are the overall skill sets required to work in retail, and I will now map it to each function. So I'm mapping the skills and function here, buying function and e-commerce procurement. I'll explain what is buying function. So for example, we are let us take your industry example. So it's a supermarket which is more of focused on fresh produce. Fresh produce per se, it is fruits and vegetables, grocery, then fish, then butchery, then you have bakery. All of this fresh food items are there. So, and then grocery items are there, FMCG items are there. As a buyer, as a buying function person, a buyer should know first is what to buy. How will you define what to buy? The definition of what to buy is depending on the customer profile around this store. We need to understand before even starting buying, we need to understand what is the customer profile around you. What is the socio-economic classification? Whether we are a high-end customer, low-end customer, you are a medium customer, and then customer is well-read, and what kind of culture they follow, what is the kind of language they follow, what are their food habits. If you can understand this into minutest of detail, then you can buy your goods accordingly. First step is that. Then you talk to FMCG companies, and then you will have how much to buy. As first we decided what to buy by understanding customer, how much to buy, how to display them, where to keep what. All of this is part of the merchandising function. So buying and merchandising functions, these are the skills required. So understanding, if you're an MBA or a student from a management graduation, so understanding business management fundamentals, the one which I told you. Understanding of product, so that is very critical. So what product, who buys, what is the quality, what is the specification, specs, all of that. You also need to be computer literate. Also have to have some understanding of commercial knowledge, which is percentages, margins, losses. So basic commercial and analytical skills. And you should be a very good negotiator, because you will be negotiating, you'll be buying with FMCG companies like Hindustan Lever, Parle, Procter & Gamble, Colgate. All of these people, you will be negotiating for the price, for the promotions, all of that. You should be a good communicator. So these are the skills required if you want to work in buying function or e-commerce procurement function. Then store operations. Store operations means in a typical store, you will have a store manager, cashier, store associate, and you will also have people who takes care of cleaning and all of that. So store operations needs, that means, so goods come from the warehouse. These goods are displayed in the store, and they've put some clean, store is clean, displayed, and put the price talkers and receive the customers. And when the customer comes, you will receive the customer, explain about your products. Sometimes in a supermarket, explanation is less, but you will direct them, help them, and tell them about promotions, all of that. And then finally it is built, and then it will go. So the store operations is the customer facing function, which is directly like a front end face of the customer, of the company. So what are the skills required here? You have to be very good communicator. So we need to understand, listen to customer problems, or listen to customer needs and give solutions. And you also need to know business management function fundamentals. Then because you are selling product, you should have product knowledge. You should be computer literate to do operating in terms of billing, in terms of managing the indenting, all of that you need to know. Now everything is about computer and analysis, and then digital applications, all of that. And you should be good at customer service. As a store manager or a supervisor, you should be able to manage that store. Some large stores will have 200 plus people. Small stores will have around 20, 25 plus people. So you should be having good supervisory skills to manage team, to understand team, to motivate team. And also, because it's a physical job, you need to have a physical stamina. So these are the broadly two top functions, which is of always full demand. And being from the industry or from the agri or a background industry, you understand quality control. This is also one important function. So you should understand quality, hygiene and safety knowledge. And for this function, basically it is about clearing the specifications, store hygiene, store safety, all of that will be followed in the quality control function. Then you have marketing. So marketing is about telling the customers what you have, what are your specialties, why should they buy, why should they come to store. So a marketing person who's there in your marketing department or in the marketing function has to understand definitely business management fundamentals and marketing subject knowledge. So how to tell a story, how to tell your own USP, unique selling proposition, your company values. And if you understand what is that your company's USP and communicating them in a proper manner is about marketing, and ensuring that this story is told to customers and the customers believes in you, whatever communication you do, and customer comes and shops with you. So marketing is about all of these skills. So there is one more function which is really building up now. There are analysts and MIS, Management Information System Executives. These people give a lot of data for the senior functionals or senior heads of functions to understand the details of the business and be able to take decisions. For example, sales data, which store is doing good, which store is not doing good, what is the sales, what is the bills, what is the number of bill value, what is the average bill value. All of this, there is so much of data and knowledge which can be done from the data. So from the data, they will create a tabular format, visual format, and do an analysis and give and help the people to take right decisions in terms of buying, operations, finance, everything comes around this.